Guys, the conventional thought is all you need to buy your new house is to save up your deposits. I am here to shock you. You need to save up more because you are going to spend a whole lot more than you've budgeted for, even planned for. Based on our experience, I'm going to be talking about money today. How much did we spend in total aside from our deposit saved?
Just like ice coffee in the morning, wakes me up the way I want it. Such a rush, I'm tripping and I'm falling. Got my sunshine.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm here today to talk about money really. How much did we spend aside our deposits? I think we were shocked at the end, like when we were done, when we finally bought the house. We're like, wow, we actually spent this much. So if you want to see the figure, wait and watch till the end. So let me just jump right into it. The first thing first was opening a lighter account. I said this in my previous video, link up there for you to watch. If you're in the process of buying a house right now, start saving towards your house. Like, you need as much help as you can get in terms of finances. And the good thing with a lighter account is you get 25% interest on top of any amount you've saved. So let me break this down. If you save £4,000, you get £1,000 extra from the government. So if you can do this over 2 financial years, then that means you can get extra 2K. And the best thing ever is if you're buying your house with it's your partner, right? So that's 2K each. That's extra 4K towards your house, which is very, very good money that comes in handy at the end of the day, right? So now let me go towards the breakdown of the actual money we spent. So the very first thing we paid in our house buying process was our reservation fee. And we paid £500 for this. So this helps them to now take the house off the market because now they know that you're serious and you're committed, right? But the good thing about this is not an hidden cost or an extra cost or anything, because they are going to deduct this £500 from the total price of your house. Let me just give you an example so it's clearer. So let's say your house is £402,500. Where you pay the 500, they're going to deduct this from the amount of so the house is now going to be £402,000. Second thing we paid for was our mortgage valuation fee, and we paid £100 for this. So what's the mortgage valuation fee? It's an amount of money you pay to your mortgage lender. So they're going to send a surveyor to your property, and maybe for instance, for someone like us where our house was not yet built, they'll send the surveyor to the developer. So they'll check maybe the show home, the house plan, and all those things to see if the price your developer is selling the property is actually worth it. Which I think this is very fair enough, because in a way it ensures they are not wasting their money, and also I think it gives you security. It's not that, oh, the house you're buying is not overinflated. Because if they raise a red flag and they say, oh, this house is actually maybe undervalued or overvalued, then you can back out of the deal and say you're not buying again. After we spoke to our mortgage advisor, then we were told, oh, we have to have a home insurance and a life insurance to get a mortgage offer. And then for our home insurance, we had to pay £444. So for this one, you can actually decide to pay monthly, but we decided to pay at once because we didn't want this to affect our monthly going in and coming out as a family, if you understand what I mean. So just let it out of there, and then so we don't have to think about paying that again throughout the year. But then the second one was life insurance, right? So for my husband, he didn't have to pay anything because where he works currently, they offer life insurance. But for myself and my daughter, we had to pay for that, and we pay £60 for our life insurance every month. Now guys, the major part of everything, the extras. So as I said in my previous video, link up there for you to watch. The house, when you go and view the house, when you go to visit the show home, like, it looks so nice, like it's staged and all that. Just know everything is just staged. It's just for the eyes only. That's not how the house comes. The flooring, there is no flooring, there is literally nothing. It's just bare walls. And you have to pay for anything extra you're telling them to put in. So like, let's say carpet, you have to pay for it. If you want maybe tap outside, you have to pay for it. If you want extra sink to your utility room, you have to pay for it. Things like that. And we were so shocked because we didn't know this. We thought, oh, everything came with the house, right? Like, that's what you're paying for. Nope. Shocker. So guys, we were asked to come in for our first options meeting, and then they told us to pay for the external door to the garage. And I'm like, I don't understand, like, it does not come with door. So apparently all they give you is, you know, the front door that you see, that's all. If you want the one that comes at the side that leads to the house, you have to pay for that. And then we had to pay for lights to be put in the garage also. I was just like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Anyways, the amount we paid for this was £8,480. And I think this was an eye-opener for us. Like, different things can come up. We have to have more saved, and we have to start putting like a pool of money aside just for extras. After the first options meetings for the things that had to go up with the structure of the house, we were now called in for our second options meeting. So this is where they're going to ask you if you want anything extra to the house, like flooring, more tiles to your bathrooms, if you wanted vinyl carpet, all those kind of stuff. So for us, we decided to go for some upgrades. For instance, for the kitchen, we made an upgrade to the cupboards, upgrade to the worktop. We got like extra sink to the utility room. We got like another form of shower head. Look, all these fancy things. The electric heating system in the bathrooms. Just things that really just make your house look way better, right? And then we spent a total of £6,300 on extra, guys. Now, disclaimer, right? You actually don't have to spend this money, right? It was just our own decision because we wanted it to have like a very good like finishing in terms of decor. But then you can decide to take the house as it is, outsource this after your house has been built and you've moved in. So that way you get to save on cost, and then it gives you like the freedom to save up more and do the things you want to do. Just something to note, guys. In the UK, if your house is more than £425,000, you have to pay stamp duty. So guys, when you're choosing your extras, just for instance, maybe the house you're buying is £420,000, right? And then you're choosing extras worth £6,000. This is going to be added to the price of the house. So this now ups the price of your house to £426,000. Then you have to pay stamp duty. So just in case, I'm trying to avoid this by picking extras that are way less than that price when it's added to the price of the house, so you don't have to pay stamp duty. That is if you fall into this category. Another tip is when you go for your options meeting, prepare your mind that you are going for a business meeting. You are going to negotiate incentives for yourself. So one thing with these developers is they would not let you know upfront that, oh, we have this much incentives to offer you. They probably would just tell you about the 5% £5,000 contribution to your deposit, all those tiny ones. But then they probably can offer you more. For us, one thing we got for free is we're able to get flooring for free. And trust me, I remember when we went for that meeting and then my husband was trying to ask for incentives. I'm a very shy person. I'm like, no, now don't do that. And he was just I'm like, what are you saying? And he really like, because he's a businessman, he really argued with them, and then I don't even know how they decided to give us all those things for free. So guys, think of it as you trying to save cost for yourself. The more vocal you are, the more money you save. So try your best to negotiate the deal in your favor, because in the long run, they are still the ones making more money from this whole thing, right? So you don't want to be at the losing end. So try as much as possible to negotiate for incentives. Another thing that we paid for was our product fee. This is the money you pay to mortgage lender. I think we didn't even know about this, right? That you have to pay a product fee. So it was quite like surprising. But we paid £999 for this. But the good thing about this is that you get a cash back of £250. So this 250 cash back is always offered to people that purchase houses that are energy efficient. So if your EPC has a rating of either an A or a B, they offer you this £250 cash back. I think it's part of their initiative for the green living. So we have like a solar system in our house. We have solar panels on the roof. And that's another thing to watch out for, guys. You need to get houses that have inbuilt solar system, because it saves us a whole lot now on electricity. Like, we are so grateful for that decision. Another thing to note, guys, is this product fee. We paid $999, as I said. Your mortgage lender is going to ask you, do you want them to add this to your mortgage in the long run, or you want to pay it upfront? Just bear in mind, if you decide to add it to your mortgage, it's going to incur interest. If you don't have a lot of cash at hand, it's something you can decide to do, right? But we personally decided to pay it upfront because we didn't want to be increasing the amount we're owing our mortgage lender. So that was paid upfront. The next thing we now paid for is we paid our solicitors, that is our lawyers. Paid an initial deposit of £300 to cover their initial surveys and then the total amount we paid after that was £8,577. So I think one thing to note is the amount you pay your solicitor depends on the price of your house. It also depends on if you have a LISA account, because one thing you should note is you personally cannot withdraw your LISA account because you only have to withdraw it towards buying a new house. And then if you decide to do that, I think you lose an amount of money. So your solicitor will be the one to withdraw that money for you, and they're going to charge based on this. So we got charged extra because money was saved in our LISA account. And other things that the solicitor charged us for, I'm just going to be reading it out. We were charged for appointed service charge. So that's the service charge you pay your developer. They use this money to like keep the environment clean, trim the grass, all those kind of things. And then we paid also for land registry searches. That was just £4. We paid land registration fee £330. We also paid land registry final searches, which was £205. Some other things we paid is some money to HMRC for search insurance and things like that. And also house builder document fee, which was £210. So yeah, that was the amount we paid our solicitor. So guys, another thing is these solicitors, these lawyers, oh my god, they are going to stress your life. Do not trust your lawyers, because this is about money. They are the ones that are collecting all your money together. So you need to be very, very careful. For us, with our experience with our lawyer was not good. They kept on making flimsy mistakes, but as if they didn't even know how to be professional or something. They made mistakes in the total of the amount we had to pay. Thank God we started to go through it one by one and do a final calculation before actually paying, before we were able to like flag that mistake. So one tip I would say is ensure everything they are sending to you, you are vetting it. You are doing your own due diligence and checking through it to be sure that it all tallies together. The next thing on the list, guys, is moving costs. So typically, moving houses in the UK is very, very, very expensive. I think you can get like a quote of £600 to £1,000 if you like all these people that come into your house, pack up for you and move to the other house. But then we are so blessed with the kind of community we have here. Shout out to my people. They came through for us. All we had to do was hire a van. We had a van from Enterprise Rent a Van. So if you have somebody that drives manual, you can try this approach. And then they helped us to like pack our things, move and all that. It was such a beautiful day and such a wonderful experience. And we're able to like save a lot of money on that. We spent only £250 on moving. So another thing we paid for was snagging. We decided to get a snagger to come in to do a snagging survey. So this is basically where somebody just comes in to check your house to see if there's any defects or issues with the property. Because one thing you should notice, after you move into your property, the developer is going to come in to ask if you're okay with everything, if there's anything you need them to work on. So basically, this report you then get from your snagger helps you to have something to show your developer them to work on, basically. So they check things like fixtures and fittings, if they were fitted properly, if the painting was done well, if the window was installed, if it's aligned properly, minor things like that can actually cause like major issues in the long run. That which I think this is something you shouldn't keep if you are buying a new build, because new builds are not as should I say durable as old builds because of the way they are built right now. So that gives you some form of confidence in the property that it was built and it meets the requirements. The last thing on my list is house decor. Oh my god, the amount of money house decor is going to take from you is mind-blowing. At first we had a budget of £5,000, and I think we probably spent like double of that right now. I'm not even sure. I need to go to my Excel sheet and tally that. But then, yeah, you have to set aside money for house decor. A tip here is, which is the mistake I made, don't try and buy things before moving into the house. My god, something like a chandelier, right? My husband is very, very tall. He's like 6'5", and then I went to buy like all these chandeliers. Now his head keeps on like hitting the chandelier because it's literally almost as tall as the ceiling, right? So try your best to move into the house. Don't get too excited before you start buying house decor items. I think decorating after you move in is just way better because you can take your time to like split every part in the house into like different projects, right? And then that way you can like put in all your efforts into one room at a time to ensure that it meets like the dream you have or the vision you have. This moment of truth, how much did we spend aside paying for our deposits? Drum rolls. We spent £17,500 and 14 pence. So I'm going to throw away the £51 and say we spent just to round it up. We spent £17,000, guys. So you might not spend up to that, but I think this just highlights the fact that you definitely would spend way more than you're budgeting right now or you've budgeted. So just try to have some extra savings aside your deposit, just so you're not caught unawares. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have more questions for me on this house buying series, you can drop it in the comment section. More than happy to respond and answer your questions. So thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Bye.